Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope you are well and good right now. I am Nikki Vanessa Shooting, your teacher for the Introduction of World Religions and Belief System. Welcome to our fourth quarter weekly. Today, we will be discussing about the elements of Theravada Buddhism. So we have here the learning competency. The learner evaluates the Eightfold Paths in terms of how it achieved the middle way. So what is Buddhism? Buddhism is a religion of around 500 million people, or around 7% to 8% of the world's populations. Buddhism followers are mostly found in Asian continent, with China having the largest population at around 244 million, or 18% of its total population. Asian countries that have the highest Buddhist majority in terms of population. Number 1, Cambodia, 97%, Thailand, 90%, Myanmar, 80%, Bhutan, 75%, Sri Lanka, 75%, and Laos, 66%. Buddhism is one of the most practical among the world's great religions because its belief system intends to meet the basic needs of human needs and solve humankind's spiritual problem without depending on supernatural forces. The two main divisions of religions are Mahayana Buddhism and Theravada Buddhism. Theravada Buddhism is a more conservative subdivision of Buddhism than Mahayana does. It is closer to fundamental teaching of Siddhartha. Who was Siddhartha? Siddhartha Gautama, who would one day become known as Buddha, enlightened one or the awakened, lived in Nepal during 6th to 4th century BC. Siddhartha, which means he who achieves his arm, Gautama to a large clan called the Shakyas in Lumbini, today modern Nepal, in the 6th century BC. His mother died 7 days after giving birth to him, but a holy man prophesied great things for young Siddhartha. He would be either a great king or military leader, or he would be a great spiritual leader. Siddhartha experiences the real world. The prince reached at his late 20s with a little experience of work outside the walls of his opulent palace, but one day he ventured out beyond the palace walls and was quickly confronted the realities of human frailty. He saw a very old man, and Siddhartha explained that all people grow old. As a summary, Siddhartha found out that the reality of life has a beginning and ending. He found out the different stages of persons from birth, sickness, old age to ultimate death. The Buddha is undoubtedly one of the most influential figures in world history, and his teachings have affected everything from a variety of other faiths, as many Buddha, to literature, to philosophy, both within India and to the farthest reaches of the Western world. Tipikata and their contents. The Sutta Pitaka, Buddha doctrinal discourses, short home to long prose narrative about Siddhartha's previous lives. Vinaya Pitaka, or discipline, rules of discipline, stories that illustrate with his moral principles. And then the Abhidhamma, systematic analysis of the categories of Buddhist thought. The first basket, the Suttaka, contains the conventional teaching delivered by Siddhartha on different occasions. discourses of Siddhartha discipline, such as those Sariputra, Maitreyan, and Manda, are also part of the Sultan Pitaka. It is divided into 5 collections, namely: number 1, Digha Nikaya, collection of long discourses; Madhyama Nikaya, collection of middle-length discourses; and then Samyutta Nikaya, the collection of the kindred sayings; and then Agatra Kinaya, collection of discourse arranged in accordance with number. The second basket, the Vinaya Pitaka, contained the disciplinary code required of Buddhist monks, bhikkhus, and nuns, bhikkhunis. Various rules and regulations must be followed by the monastic community. It consists of the 5 books, namely: number 1, Parajika Pali, major offenses; Pakiteya Pali, minor offenses; and Mahavaga Pali, greater section; and then Theravada Pali, epitome of Vinaya. The third basket, Pitaka, is a work of normal psychology. The reflective philosophies of Siddhartha teaching are contained by the Abhidhamma Pitaka, that is strictly Theravada collection. It is composed of 7 works, namely: Dhammasaghani, enumeration of phenomena; and Vighanga, the book of treatises; and then Katha Vacho, point of controversy; and then Pagalapanati, description of individuals; and then Jatakatha, discussion with reference to elements; and Yamaka, the book of pairs. Belief and doctrines. He never intended to start new religion, especially so that is his teaching are focused primarily in ethics and self-understanding, as people work for their salvation on their own without needing the assistance of any supreme being. He did not claim to be a savior, but a guide and a teacher, as he appointed the way of others to follow gain a spiritual best and doing so. Fourth noble truth. The first noble truth, the origin of the problem of dukkha, suffering, can be experienced throughout the different stages of a person's life, from birth, sickness, old age, to ultimate death. The second noble truth, the cause of suffering, or samudaya, in craving or desire, in a perpetual thirst of human to consume things, experience, or ideas. And then the third noble truth is a cessations or naroda to suffering and bondage by eliminating craves and desire, and by dropping the bonds of craving, one gets to be released from the fundamental nature of reality. The fourth noble truth, the path of manga leading to the termination of craving and desire to eventual sensation of pain. Noble Eightfold Path, which an entirely practical path, and each described as right or sama. 3 aspects of sama: path of wisdom, this includes right view and right intention; path of morality, this includes right speech, right action, and livelihood; path of meditation, it consists of right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. Rebirth or samsara, the mastery of the various truths, the observance of the path would lead a person to break the bond that binds him or her life and obtain release from the eternal cycle of death. Karma and law, cause and effect. Law of dependent organization, Patika, is one of the most insightful teaching of Siddhartha, and an impermanence of things. It is the unavoidable fact of human existence, and samsara is a being escape of all phenomena. Nirvana is a person minds as ad perfectis called arhat, or one who is worthy of honor. Worship and observance. Stupas are commemorative monuments that contain sacred relics associated with Siddhartha himself. In Tibet, of stupa was transformed into chorten, and Southeast and East Asia called Pagoda. Subdivisions. The subdivisions of Theravada that existed during the early history of Sri Lanka can be traced from the 3 monasteries of Mahavihara and Jetavana Mahavihara, or Great Monastery, was founded by King Teza, who ruled between 307 BC to 267 BCE. Daghaba was the king of Mycenae, who ruled 277 BC and 304 CE. War and violence. In Buddhism, war is evil, or akusala, as some scholars state, that has no rationalization in Siddhartha teaching. Woman of Buddhism. Siddhartha allowed women to participate in Sangha, although there were some stipulations. Woman principles was to become a faithful to devote and housewife project to the swim or husbands. Within the Sangha, Siddhartha recognized the potential and value of bhikkhunis, were also expert in teaching and Dhamma. This includes Dhamma, Kama, and Appalavana. Siddhartha acknowledged that the man is not always wise, as human is also wise. The fundamental teaching of Buddhism are closely tied to the life of Siddhartha Gautama, who was born between 563 BCE to 480 BCE in Lumbini in the foothills in the Nepalese Himalayas. Okay, that's all. Any questions, clarifications, additions? If you don't have any questions, please proceed to your learning path and answer your activity, or contact me or call me at 0926-2974-685. Thank you and God bless.